So I want to mention progressive design build. This is the new thing in DBIA. What is progressive design build? How is it used? Where it's used? To my knowledge, we still have not done this in federal highway with a federal aid project, but it's heavily promoted by the Design Build Institute of America. And I personally call it CMGC under design build, where you're picking a firm based on experience or qualifications, and they become the design builder. You're negotiating with them, and you're progressing towards a price reasonableness as the design goes along. This is a definition of sorts from DBIA's Design Build Done Right document, but they say it's a process whereby the owner then progresses toward a contract price with the team. So that's what progressive design build is all about. Will this be the future of design build in transportation? I don't know. I have my doubts. I have my concerns with progressive design build. And also from DBIA's literature, these are what they call the right ways to do design build. They list one step, two step. They list progressive. They say low bid is not recommended. As far as federal highway is concerned, low bid is allowed. So it's, according to DBIA, it's not preferred, but in the federal aid highway program, low bid design build is certainly allowed. The preferred method, at least from our perspective, is to bring quality into the process, but I'll stop and leave it there. Briefly want to mention Maryland State Highway's use of progressive design build, and try to picture yourself in state highway shoes. You've got a I-270 corridor. This is one of the interstates that comes into Washington. Traffic ranges from about 80,000 up at the northern end to about over 200,000 at the lower end. 8 lanes plus CD roads on the outside of that, so I think some sections are 12 to 14 lanes wide, and they're all full in the morning and the PM. It's typically red line if you look at Google Maps a large portion of the day. So Maryland State Highway is letting a progressive design build contract, some call it fixed budget, best value, but they have awarded a contract for $100 million to one firm based on their technical proposal. And this one firm has the responsibility to design and come up with conceptually innovative solutions to traffic management and congestion mitigation. So they're looking at shoulder widening, shoulder use, HOV use, ramp metering, just a number of traffic techniques to move traffic during peak periods using all the shoulders that are available, restriping as necessary, lane configurations. This firm has the responsibility to move traffic, and that's going to be their incentive for making that $100 million contract work. Why is SHA looking at it? It's because they want a partner who's going to be responsible for the design. They want to limit their spear and liability, the liability for the design. So it's sort of like CMGC, they get that early constructability input, but they're also making this firm responsibility ultimately for the design and the operation of this facility. So that's one reason that Maryland State Highway is looking at this, changing lane configurations and doing everything they can to move traffic in that corridor. And the State Highway is selling the project based on statements like 11 new lane miles, 12 new lane miles northbound. Well, they're using existing shoulders. They may be new lanes, but they're reusing the shoulders and doing what they can to move traffic during the peak hours. Do you use shoulders here during peak hours? Not yet, okay. We see quite a bit of that in the Washington area. VDOT's using it extensively in the Beltway and 66, but if you're a commuter sitting in that traffic, you're thankful it's at least moving, I guess.